including the next generation multi-top network and security during his PhD study. He also published more than 20 research findings, journal papers, and magazine articles. He has so many work experience with Microsoft Research, China Mobile, Silicon Valley Research, DT Silicon Valley Innovation Center, and Burma Lab. Now he is the CTO of UMining. So everyone, please join me in welcome Dr. Terry Shin. Welcome.
Thanks for the introduction. So welcome everyone. So today this is a workshop. We're talking about the crypto mining. So this is the agenda of today's workshop. Because we have a lot of topic to cover, so I'm not gonna deep dive to each topic because a lot of time. So I'll try to finish all the tutorial within an hour. And then we can have time to networking, to ask questions in the Q&A session. So at the beginning, I'll talk about the cryptocurrency basics in case some of you don't know what is a cryptocurrency, or I share some basic background to you because I can see not all of you has been already in this area. You're probably new to this. And then after you have some background about what is cryptocurrency, what is a Bitcoin, Litecoin, and talk about the cryptocurrency mining, like how the mining works and what is the mining, the basic knowledge. And then after you know what is a mining, and you're probably curious what machine I can use for start mining, right? Mining the cryptocurrencies. Then I'll talk about the major mining devices, primarily like the ASIC miners and GPU rigs. And then after you know how to mine Bitcoin, you may curious also want to know what is the investment return, like how much money I can make by start mining the Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency, right? And in this section, I'm talking about the ballpark because the price is keep changing, this volatility, right? That's why we give you a ballpark, like how much money you can mine per day or per year, like what is the cost you have to pay every day, and roughly how much money you can make per year. And after you realize, okay, mining Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency is still profitable, you may be curious about like, hey, can I mine Bitcoin or other coin at home? So I'll talk about this later, the possibility later. But the short answer is no, or at least it's not recommended because there's several reasons. I'll talk about it later. And then after the answer is no, you probably are seeking to other services like, hey, what other mining services provided by third party I can choose and which make profit for me. So, and actually we're from UMining, you can see from the t-shirt. I'm gonna commercial time a little bit talking about what is UMining. And then, I share some resources with you. The last part is the QA. In case you have any question, you can ask. Yeah, this is the agenda. So very basic, this is a very basic definition of what is cryptocurrency. So, anybody know what is a cryptocurrency, or you have already have some basic knowledge? Raise your hands. Okay. So I assume like half of you guys know what is a cryptocurrency. So yeah. Let me briefly talk about this. Like the cryptocurrency is an electronic cash system does not rely on the central bank or trusted third party. So it's different from the existing financial solution, like using a credit card or something like that. All the transaction is actually recorded by a centralized institution, for example, like the bank. But cryptocurrency is not. There's no central party. Everything is decentralized. This is the first major characteristic of the cryptocurrency. The second one is it uses cryptography, the security, like some mathematical operation to make sure all the transaction is encrypted or secure. So there are two characteristics. So you can basically think the cryptocurrency is a currency that is not issued by any government or that is not regulated by any central authorizations. So when we talk about the cryptocurrency, the most famous, I would say probably everybody know what is a Bitcoin, or at least you heard it. Or maybe some of them you already own Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is the first and the most successful application of the blockchain technology, or the cryptocurrency, okay? It's conceptualized by Satoshi Nakamoto. So even right now, nobody knows what is Satoshi Nakamoto. It's a pseudonym in 2008. And then they start, kind of like, this cryptocurrency, they put on work 2009 and become commercialized in the 2010. Okay, and another one, because actually there are a lot of issues for the Bitcoin. For example, the transaction fee is high, so it's not practical for you to buy a coffee or something with a Bitcoin because the transaction fee you pay might take a great portion of the coffee itself. It's not practical. The other reason is, for each block, you need some certain of time to confirm the transaction. The existing average time for confirmed transaction is about like 10 minutes. So it's not practical like, when I buy coffee, I need to wait like 10 minutes to make sure the transaction has been confirmed and then I leave and give you the coffee. It's not practical, right? That's why another coin, which is the Litecoin, founded by Charlie Lee, and it's kind of like, it's kind of like an improved version of Bitcoin, but they share some comments, but they improve the performance a little bit in two ways. The first way is the block time reduced from 10 minutes to 2.5 minutes. It's shorter, okay? It's faster. The other one is the Litecoin, the transaction fee is lower. So it's more practical for you to spend the Litecoin in the real life as the payment method, okay? So these two cryptocurrency are considered as the representative of cryptocurrency in the blockchain 1.0. It's a kind of like a first generation blockchain technology, okay? And then there's a genius guy, 19 years old, Vitalik, okay? He created another network called Ethereum. The Ethereum network actually they enable the smart contract running on the network, meaning, it's not just only about the cryptocurrency on the blockchain network. You can also execute some smart contract or some applications on it. Of course, it also associated with a cryptocurrency we call Ether. And Ether right now is the second largest cryptocurrency depends on the volume, the second largest. It's about like 500, 600, roughly dollar right now. I'll talk about the price. So I think everybody pay attention to the cryptocurrency, or they heard what is the Bitcoin and Litecoin probably in last year. Because the last year, the price was like this, okay? The Bitcoin has about like 18 times gain during the last year. That's really rare in the stock market. You probably can't see this, increase for the stock market. And it's even more crazy for the Ethereum. Like Ethereum has the 167 times. So a lot of people actually last year achieved their financial freedom by investing in the cryptocurrency because like Ethereum, they have over 100 times capital gain for last year. And even there's some altcoin, like ICO coin, they easily have the 500 times or even 1,000 times. See? So starting from this year, the price, you can see the price goes up and down a little bit, but it's still, compared with the price at the beginning of the 2017, $8 something. Right now we have like $600, still like, huge increase, right, of the market. And starting from this year, actually last year you can see the price is all the way go to the top. Probably there are some little bit dip right here, but it all the way goes to the top. So starting from this year, the price goes up and down. So the people's view on the investing in the crypto has been divided into two groups. One is think the price will go up. The other party will think the price probably will go down. So here are some the trend prediction from some celebrity or some very famous people in this area. Like someone saying the Bitcoin will go to $25,000 by the end of this year, and like the Tim Draper, who's a very famous investor, he also predict the Bitcoin will be like $250,000 by the end of 2022. Yeah. So let me ask you guys a quick question. Anybody think the Bitcoin will still go up? Raise your hand. Okay, that's why you guys are here, right? Otherwise you won't be here, or you only come for a pizza. Okay, so after the basic knowledge of the cryptocurrency, and then let's jump to the mining, which is the very important topic of today's. What is the crypto mining? Because there are two ways to invest. You get yourself involved into this party. The first one is you can buy the coin directly, right? That's easy. The other one is you can mine yourself. So buying the coin, you can watch your video on YouTube or go to any website. It's easy. But mining is not that straightforward. That's why we're here, to teach you or talk about almost everything about the mining, but not that deep. But it's kind of like the first class for you who want to know what is the mining. Okay. So let me play a short video. Oh, sorry.
This means that everyone who uses Bitcoin is a tiny fraction of the value of Bitcoin. But where do Bitcoins come from? With paper money, a government decides when to print and distribute money. Bitcoin doesn't have a central government. With Bitcoin, miners use special software to solve math problems and are issued a certain number of Bitcoins in exchange. This provides a smart way to issue the currency and also creates an incentive for more people to mine. And since miners are required to approve Bitcoin transactions, more miners means a more secure network. The Bitcoin network automatically changes the difficulty of the math problems, depending on how fast they're being solved. In the early days, Bitcoin miners solved these math problems with the processors in their computers. Soon, miners discovered that graphics cards used for gaming were much better suited to this kind of math. Graphics cards are faster, they use more electricity and generate a lot of heat. The first commercial Bitcoin mining products included chips that were reprogrammed for mining Bitcoin. These chips were faster, but still power-hungry. ASIC, or application-specific integrated circuit chips, are designed specifically for Bitcoin mining. ASIC technology has made Bitcoin mining even faster while using less power. As the popularity of Bitcoin increases, more miners join the network, making it more difficult for individuals to solve the math problems. To overcome this, miners have developed a way to work together in pools. Pools of miners find solutions faster than their individual members, and each miner is rewarded proportionate to the amount of work he or she provides. Mining is an important and integral part of Bitcoin that ensures fairness while keeping the Bitcoin network stable, safe, and secure. For more information about Bitcoin mining, visit bitcoinmining.com.
Yeah, I think it's a really great video. So, okay. So you simply talk about what is the Bitcoin mining. So in case you missed any part of in the video, I'm just gonna repeat what the key point in the video. So to mine the Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency, you first need to have a node. Okay. At the early stage, node could be a computer. You can use any computer as long as the computer has a CPU, of course, and then use the CPU to do some computation to mine the Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency, mostly Bitcoin. And then, the people realize the CPU is not that suitable for doing some calculation for mining, because mining need a lot of hash function operation. That's why they use GPU. And then right now, they're using ASIC miner. The ASIC miner is a dedicated device, like this one. It's a dedicated machine. They have a chip. They have the algorithm running the chip. It's more efficient, but it's less energy consumed. Okay? So as I say, the mining Bitcoin is actually solving a mathematical puzzles. Just, it's kind of like the lottery draw. You keep trying guessing by random number as long as you hit, and then that one mine the block for the 10 minutes, and then you also get a reward. So the larger hash power you have, the great chance you will be able to mine the block. Therefore, get the reward of the block, which is the 12.5 BTC right now. And at the beginning, the reward was like 50 BTC, and so every 4 years, they have the reward. Like after 4 years, the reward for 10 minutes is like 25. And after another 4 years, it's gonna be 12.5. And then you can calculate the rest of them. So right now, we have 12.5 BTC rewarded for 10 minutes. And people, you may think, it's great because 12.5 BTC is still like a lot of money. But it's not that easy, because I'm gonna talk about the mining pool later. What's the mining pool? And as you probably know, the Bitcoin has a limited number, in the system. They only have 21 million Bitcoin. So see, the reward actually, or the Bitcoin mine will be half for every 4 years. So there must be some day then there's no Bitcoin to be mined. What happened after that day? Probably 2140 something, 100 years later, there's no Bitcoin to be mined. What happened after that? So the reward, I want to say that the reward is not only the Bitcoin reward, like 12 and a half, or the 25 a few years ago for every 10 minutes, also the transaction fee. So because within the past 10 minutes, there are tons of transactions happening, for the past 10 minutes. So as I say, people need to pay the transaction fee, right? Like you buy a coffee or make a transaction, you need to pay, percentage of the amount of money you make the transaction. Then all the transaction will be also, bundled with the reward as the reward to the miner who get the right number, who gets the number. So that's why even though the reward of the Bitcoin will be half every 4 years, but the transaction actually will goes up because we have more, I say the Bitcoin price actually goes up, That's why this is kind of like a dynamic mechanism designed by Satoshi. That's why everybody say he's a genius, like this. Keep the Bitcoin ecosystem living, long. So, but as I say, as the video said, even mentioned in the video, it's not practical for you to just buy one machine and run it at home. In that way, you won't get the Bitcoin at all, actually. Or I would not say at all, but you probably not get a big Bitcoin, and or the one we expected, because there are several million machines running on the network, and you are just one of them, right? You can't calculate, there's simple math, right? What's the possibility you can mine one coin, right? Or you can get a reward for one block. It's tiny. It's almost impossible. That's why there is a concept called the mining pools. It's pretty much like, you want to draw the lottery, you buy the lottery, and you gather like 10,000 people to buy the lottery. Everybody pick a number. Anyone the number hit, all the 10,000 people will share the prize. So that's more reasonable. You have bigger chance to win the prize, right? So that's why they have the mining pool. Right now, this is a distribution of the mining pool around the world. So the BTC.com is the largest mining pool right now. So you can configure your miners to join this BTC mining pool, or the end pool is actually from the ASIC miner factory. They have their own pool. And actually the Bitman is a company of these devices. This is the most dominated product in the miner market right now. So, and also there are several pools. Okay. So you can join anyone. Actually, you're not necessarily to join the biggest one. Probably this one, this one, this one. I think the reward, the profit will be pretty much similar, right? Because they're already big enough. They're already like 60% or 10%. It's good enough. Yeah. So I'm not gonna talk about the technical too much, but this is the in case you're curious, this is the configuration of these machines. Okay. So S9 is for mining the Bitcoin. This is the most popular machine for mining the Bitcoin. It's the most dominated product in the market. So you just simply configure, whatever pool you want to join. So then you may probably ask, how can I get this pool information? For example, I want to join to BTC.com or Slushpool.com or the other pool. How you get that? So you go to for example, if you use the end pool, you go to the website, right? And then the website, after you log in and create an account, then you will have, in the dashboard, if you click the dashboard, they will have a link. Those information you can fill in to here. Then they start mining. So the mining is a real-time process. So any Bitcoin or other coin mined from this pool, for example, 12 and a half, for past 2 minutes, right? The pool you join mine 12 and a half Bitcoin. And for example, if there are, let's put it simple way, like if there are 10 miners in that pool, you can have 1.25 Bitcoin shared, right? But it's actually not that simple because, I don't want to make it complicated, but it's not that simple because the portion you get, the reward, is based on the hash power you generated. You contributed to this whole system. It's not like you have one machine, I have one machine, then you have 50%, I have 50%. No. Because different machines, they have different performance. Probably, it depends on the hash power each machine is running. It's like the car, right? You're running 120, but then you are running 60, then it's not like 50-50, right? So, and after the Bitcoin mining, the configuration like that, so I'm talking about a little bit about the trend of the mining because there are other type of the mining right now. It's pretty hot, it's pretty popular, right? Like the IPFS mining. So some people say the IPFS mining is the next generation or the next profitable, even more profitable than mining the Bitcoin in this industry, because the IPFS mining is just miner. It's not like this miner. For the Bitcoin mining, right? Everybody is consuming the power to guessing the number, to run the to consume the power, to run the guess, randomly guess the number. Whoever gets the number, whoever will be the reward, right? But FTX is like you provide the storage and network. It's pretty much like the BitTorrent network, right? You provide part of your storage on the network. For example, you have the requirement to save a movie, and you don't want to save on your disk, right? You can save on my storage I provided. So you pay me the Filecoin because I provide you the network and storage the services. So this process, this rewarding process, is also part of the mining. Okay, so based on my understanding, based on my point of view of the mining is in the future, the mining will not be a resource wasting behavior like the Bitcoin. Like everybody just randomly guessing the number, consume the power, waste a lot of money and to get the Bitcoin. But also the mining consensus or the mining behavior will be more related to whatever your ecosystem or service provided. For example, you wanna build a blockchain service for Uber, right? And then you also you have your own coin. You also want your coin to be mineable. Others can mine your coin. Then who mine the most part of the coin? It's based on what? It's not based on the power you consume, because there's no machine at all. The miner probably is your car, right? The longer mile you drive, the better review you have from your customers, then you will have the more capability for mining, greater chance to get more reward. This is also kind of like the mining. The mining is not just using hammer or something to mine, but it's just logically is a behavior, right? It's an application, just application. So the Bitcoin mining was like that. Then actually I already talked about the Bitcoin mining devices a little bit just now. So I'm gonna re-emphasize. This is actually, it's also mentioned in the video, right? This is the history of how the crypto mining devices evolved. Like at the beginning, people used a regular PC. Like as long as you have CPU, you just run the application, and then you mine Bitcoin. It's pretty easy, right? At that time, you can mine tons of the Bitcoin, probably 100,000 Bitcoin per day, right? If you mine at that time, you're probably right? And then people realize the GPU is more suitable for mining the Bitcoin other than the CPU. That's why they have GPU mining. And FPGA. FPGA is a programmable chip, so you can program the whatever algorithm mining application into the chip, so it will be more efficient. And then next one is the ASIC miner. This is the ASIC miner. It's only designed for mining specific coin, so it consumes less energy. But honestly, it's not like the FPGA. It's also lower cost because it's only designed for this one. They massively produce, right? But it's not like FPGA because FPGA is flexible. If you burn whatever the application into the chip, and then if you don't want to be a miner, you can run another application on top of it. It's more flexible. It's kind of like a trade-off. You want to have more flexible, then you must pay more cost. That's why the ASIC miner is only for mining Bitcoin. That's why you have a lowest cost right now. It's more profitable by using the ASIC miner. And also, you cannot run this machine alone. You have to join the large scale, the mining pool. Otherwise, you won't mine anything. So the BMain, the miner, is actually the company for the hardware, miner hardware, dominating the market. Okay, so I would say probably more than half of the product on the market is actually produced by the BitMain. Okay, so BitMain has different models. The different model are for mining different coins, not just Bitcoin. Like S9 is the most popular one. Is for mining BTC, which is a Bitcoin. And they also have the L3 for Litecoin, the D3 for Dash, A3, E3, X3. They're all for mining different coins. And besides this ASIC miner, there's another type of miners called the GPU rigs. The GPU rig is for mining the Ethereum primarily. So we have a GPU rig right there. So you feel free to drop by after the workshop. You can see there, we have 8 GPU, in the rig. it also costs money because GPU is actually quite expensive. So I'm going to talk about the GPU rig later, about the price or something. So you might be curious about how much money this one costs. Actually, it's also fluctuated based on the price of the Bitcoin. This is the price of the same model. See, just a few months ago, it cost like $7,000 if you buy it. And it's pretty hard to get it because a lot of people everybody's trying to get this one because the Bitcoin price is pretty high at that time. Mining was also profitable. It's still very profitable, right? And right now you can see the S9. There's only like 800 something. Okay, so right now I think my view on this one is I think it's a good timing to invest the mining machine because the price is the all-time low right now. Okay, and also the GPU rigs. The GPU rigs is mostly assembled by different factories. We also assemble the GPU rigs, and this is just a regular setup configuration of the GPU rig, but there could be all different of setups, like the 8 GPUs. You have 6 GPUs. Someone has 10 GPUs, but 6 or 8 GPU is a very common or very popular setup for the GPU rig. It costs like 4,000 to 10,000 each. It's quite expensive, but also the Ether you can mine is also it's more than the Bitcoin, the price. So the ROI is pretty much the same as the ASIC miners. But the good thing part is, for this one, because actually it is a GPU rig, but you can consider just a computer, just a PC with more GPU card. In that way, you can still resell those cards after 2 or 3 years, right? Because people can still use those cards for playing video games. But honestly, not for this one. So the depreciation of this machine is higher than this one. Okay, that's the good part of this one because the resale value is pretty good. So, and then you might curious about should I if I want to get onto the train, should I buy coin or should I mine coin? Okay, that's a very common question. Before draw the conclusion, right? Let me ask you. It's not like good or bad. It's not right or wrong. It's just different strategy because different strategies they have different risk, and the return is always associated with the risk, right? So anybody think you prefer mining if you want to join the party? Anybody think mining is a preferred way for investing? Raise your hand. Mining, okay. And I assume the rest of you guys think buying is another way, or you don't know, okay? And let me share this data with you, okay? Because some of the friends asked us okay, so I know you have to consume a lot of power instead, which is the dollar, because you have to pay the bill, right? The electricity. Then what is the cost to mine 1 Bitcoin? Because the Bitcoin price is $7,000, 7,000, 8,000, whatever, 1,000 or 10,000. But what is the true cost for mining 1 Bitcoin? People using this number to predict what is the bottom price for Bitcoin during the investment. So here, you know what? Because the price keep changing and also the computation of the hash power keep changing, that's why it might not that accurate, but you got the idea of where you have the highest cost or where you get the lowest, okay? So you can see China, Africa, America, the cost is relatively low, like 4,000 something right now to mine 1 Bitcoin. Compared with a Bitcoin price is $7,000, it is still, we still have the margin, right? But if someone, if you're doing the Bitcoin mining for yourself or even other services in Australia, Korea, or some other places, I think that's not practical. Yeah, you're wasting money. So this is kind of like the cost of the mining the Bitcoin. And besides the electricity, okay, there's also cost from the configuration and maintenance or even repair, right? Because the machine, there could be something wrong with the machine, right? Then you can, even though you want your machine to run 24/7 because you want them to keep mining the coin, which is the money for you, but sometimes you will have the downtime. That's why you need some professional people to take care of your machine, right? And this also considered as a cost, right? So this is kind of like a simple, like a ballpark, okay? Ballpark of the mining the Bitcoin. I'm using Bitcoin as example because in different coins they have a different numbers, but Bitcoin is the most. Let's assume the Bitcoin price is $8,000 right now. And today, each day, you may ask how many Bitcoin I can mine. Based on the price $8,000, you can mine like 6.5. You know, sometimes like last month it was $7 or $8. It depends on the price, right? Because 2 weeks ago something, the price was 9,000 something, right? Because it's flat, yeah. And the N miner S9 itself is like $830, right? Including shipping fee of $50. So there are two options to do this, okay? The first option is you run the miner at home, for example, in San Jose or in California, okay? I'm going to talk about the electricity, price across the United States, but in California, sadly, we have the highest, the electricity rate, okay? So the electricity bill for running this machine for a month, 24/7, nonstop, is like $200, okay? But you can only mine 6.5 per day, which is, 190 something or, total. This is your revenue, and this is your cost. So the conclusion is you're not making money when you mine at home, right? You don't want to do this. Unless the Bitcoin price goes to like, double or something, right? So you always want to look for some cheaper, cost for hosting, for running the machines, running the miners, right? For example, if you choose any host some services, you pay $120, for example, which is actually the price of we provided. So you don't have to worry about anything, all the electricity is included. Then this is kind of like the recovery date. This is not break-even date. This is only recover. Meaning what? Meaning, for example, you invest $10,000. You buy the coin. You buy the machines, right? You put the machine to whatever miner hosting services. You pay $120 per month, and then you get all the $10,000 back in terms of the Bitcoin in a year. Plus, you still have I think not 10 or 11 miners. There will be some depreciation on the machine itself, but it won't be that much, like 20%, some 25% per year. So this is so after a year, you will have $10,000 worth Bitcoin plus 11 or 10 machines. You can still resell them. At the time if you want. So the machine itself is your profit actually. You get your cost back. It's still profitable. So this figure talk about the scenario, very simple scenario. Okay, if you buy Bitcoin, then it comes back to the question. If you want to buy Bitcoin, or buy Bitcoin, okay? If you buy Bitcoin, let's assume the price doesn't change over the year. So you have, let's say it's $8,000 or $7,800 or something like that. If you buy Bitcoin for a year and the price doesn't change, you're not making any money. Of course, you're not losing money because the price is the same, right? But if you use the same of the money, buy S9 to mine Bitcoin, or you buy 2 GPU rigs to mine Ether, you probably make this money after a year. This is your total asset, okay? So in that way, mining is kind of like, I would say more preferred than than buying the coin in this situation, okay? To be honest, in which case I would suggest you to buy coin. I need to be fair, right? If next month, okay, the Bitcoin's price is gonna double or like 50% increase, please buy Bitcoin right now. Don't mine it, because the mine is kind of like a slow process. But because if you buy like 10,000 Bitcoin, $10,000 Bitcoin, and next month you have like 30% or 50% increase, you make like $3,000 or $5,000, right? But if you mine, it's not like this. But in this case, so that's why from the investment, like the configuration in their portfolio, people like to invest mining the Bitcoin because they don't want the volatilities like this, and they don't want to take that much risk. It's not like the ICO. I don't need to have a return for like 10 times, 50 times, 100 times per year. 50% ROI is good for me as long as I don't need that risk to be that risky. Okay, that's when you configure your portfolio of investment, the mining is kind of like a safer way to do, but it's still profitable, right? So this is kind of like the number compared with if you buy the coin or you mine the coin. So can you mine at home? You think you can mine at home? Actually, I already talked about the price of electricity, especially in California. So yeah, I mean, back to the days, like some students, because they pay the rent by month and all the electricity is included, that's why they don't pay the electricity bill separately. That's why they mine, they host a lot of, the miners at the dormitory. And also in the home or the dormitory, the capacity is limited, right? You can't run, because each one is like 1.3 kilowatts something, right? 1.5 kilowatts. The residential cannot host that capacity, like many miners at home. And see, this is the electricity, the cost for across the United States, right? As I mentioned, in California, sadly, we have the highest electricity rate, right? It's like 14 cents to 30 cents, right? So the number I used to get 155 is using 20. It's not 30, it's 20. It's kind of like an average, okay? It's 195, okay? You buy $6 or something, $7 per month, then you're not making money if you mine the Bitcoin at home because of the high electricity bill. And also, another problem is you can't run this at home because it's really, it's noisy. And it generates a lot of heat. So actually, let me try to run this. You have better idea because you probably won't see the miners somewhere at home. So let me run this. Okay, it's not that loud, right? Wait a second, because it needs to warm up. Okay, so after probably 30 seconds, when it start running, it's super noisy. You can imagine if you have 10 machines, not just 50 or 100, just 10 machines at home running simultaneously in your home, you can't sleep, right? But the good part is if in the winter, if your home is pretty cold, you can use this guy because it generates a lot of heat. You're gonna use the heater anyway, right? Then you can use this one because you mine Bitcoin and then you warm your home. Okay? Why it's not cooperating, this guy? Okay, I think it's getting up. There. And as I say, it also need a professional care. It's not just the electricity, see? It's like this. This is the way. I don't even need to put speaker near it. You can hear it. I think you can hear it, right? So something like this. Should I leave this on to use the electricity of this place to mine Bitcoin for us? I just keep it running and then, but you won't, yeah. $6 per day, so 10 minutes is not like, so it's quite noisy, right? You can't run this at home. Yeah. So of course you need professional care. What if the power, the battery is broken or something? You don't know how to fix. You have to send to the company, the hardware company, or wherever you send to some local repair store. But it also costs money, right? So let me talk. So the answer, as I said, the answer is no. You cannot host a miner at home. So what are we gonna do? You can probably choose existing mining services. There are 3 types of existing mining services you can choose. The first one is cloud mining services, okay? So you probably may heard, like, what is cloud mining? Like, they have, bunch of the miner. They own the miner, and they share the portion of you, okay? You buy the portion of the mining capacity. Capacity is just, a virtual thing. It's not the real one. You don't physically own the machine, like 10% or 50%. But you own the portion of the mining capacity. So this is the hash flare. So one of the biggest cloud mining services in the world. Okay, very famous. This is their price. Let's talk about the Bitcoin and cloud mining. Okay, so the Bitcoin you can mine is directly related to the hash power you have, right? As I say, so let's say the S9. The S9 has 14 T hash rate per second. And let's say the Bitcoin price is 8,000. So the price they charge is, with the hash rate you have for a year, like this, and the maintenance fee, okay, for like almost $5 per day. So your total cost to rent this one for a year is $3,000, based on the 14T But another option is you can buy this one and host it by yourself. But I'm gonna talk about later. But you can see that the output of 14T for 1 year is 0.3 Bitcoin, right? You're making like $2,400 per year based on the price 8,000 per Bitcoin, but you are spending $3,000 per year by using this cloud mining services. That's why the conclusion is you are not making money, okay, right now. So I don't want to talk about the disadvantages, all of this, because the conclusion is you're not making money. You don't even need to look into this one, okay? And the other service is you have your own miner, but you send to somewhere else, like the co-location service. The co-location service, like they simply provide some environment to running your machines, and they don't take care of anything with it. They just provide the electricity or some racks. You just put it. You have 50 miners. You have 100 miners. You just put on the rack, and they provide the electricity access. And then if anything goes wrong, nobody will take care of it. You have to take care of your own miners. Okay, they only provide in place. So the problem is capacity is the limit, and also I would say for all of you guys, if you buy this one, you don't know how to fix it, or you don't know how to monitor to make sure they're 20% running, right? So then it goes to I would say the most practical one, which is the remote mining hosting services. Okay, when you look for the miner hosting services, mine those bullet. Like first, it needs to be regulated. If it's not regulated, sometimes the government will jump in and say, "Hey, I need to close this mining farm, take all the miners," right? It might not that it's probably not possible in the United States, but some other countries it's still possible, right? And also, you want to make sure it's legal, it's operational, and the low risk of hardware and software failure. You have to make sure all the experts on site to keep close eye on your machines to make sure they're running 24/7, right? And the best one is they have the end-to-end solution, hassle-free. Like, you don't have to worry about anything, right? You pay the bill, you pay whatever service fee they charge, and you put your hands off, okay? You're collecting the Bitcoin. So, yeah, the issue, as I said, the issue of the existing mining hosting service is also not that perfect to look for the perfect one, because the government has have some risk, and also the regularity authority, or the fraud also, threat. Yeah. So now is it's a commercial time, but I'll try to quickly go through what are we doing. Just introduce what we're doing right now. So we are we're providing those type of services. We have a crypto miner hosting service, of course. This is the biggest service we provided, major service we're providing. And also we have the GPU rig assembling. Like those machines, GPU rig, we assemble them. We have the supply, very good supply chain. We have partnership with all the GPU card factory or company, so we can get the cheap price. That's why our price is competitive. And also we provide the miner sale and resale. Like if you want to host miners, we can buy for you. And also when you want to terminate the miner hosting, say I don't want to mine Bitcoin at all. Please help me to sell the miners I put in your place. We can sell for you, okay? And also, of course, like if any miner is broken or something, we can help you repair. And we also have the mining consulting, like me. If you want to ask, hey, I want to buy the miners, what miner do you recommend it? I can recommend you several miners. Like, hey, you can probably set up your portfolio, like for my Bitcoin and Ethereum, probably some other coin like the Zcash, Monero, because some other coin, the volatility is even bigger than Bitcoin, and it's possible for you to get all the money back within 3 months. But as I say, high return meaning high risky. So you can probably, have placed a small portion of it on your portfolio. And also we have the mobile mining container. I think probably you don't care about this because this is for some company if they want to invest a lot of mining machines. We have a container. It's a portable. It's movable. So as long as anywhere we can access with a cheaper price, then we can move the container to that one to plug in our miners, keep them running because of the low, very cheap electricity cost. And also we have the OTC service. I probably don't know what is the OTC, but OTC is like, what if I mine 100 Bitcoin per year? I want to sell them. So you don't want to sell them. You don't want to transfer to the wallet on CoinDesk or GDEX or the Coinbase or GDEX something to sell it on the public market. You can just sell it offline. like, so we also partnership with some other to providing the OTC service. Of course, we need to make sure it's illegal, right? So yeah, I think I talk about our services, but why choosing us? Because we have industry level factory. It's not like the small mining farm can only host like 2,000, 3,000 machines, even though it's also big enough. But it's also big, but it's not enough because we have like each site at least we can host like 20K miners on each site, like our Portland and also our Pittsburgh. We also have a site in Malaysia, Asia. We're looking for other site in Iceland. As long as we can access the cheaper price of the electricity, we'll be there. But we'll have to make sure it's legal, it's safe, and everything's regulated. And as I said, we're hassle-free miner setup. You can buy from us, or you can simply ship your miner to us, and then you keep your hands off, right? You don't have to worry about anything. And we also support wide range of the miner cryptocurrency, because in the market right now, there are tons of the miners right now, right? So you can probably, the major one is the S9 for mining Bitcoin, but you're the customer like, hey, I only want to mine Zcash, then we can also host that for you. We have the whole list of the miner we supported, right? And we don't need the contract. It's not like the cloud mining, at least you need to work with us, pay for a year. We don't have the contract. Like, I think our minimum is like 3 months or something. And then if you want to stop, we just ship back your miner to you, okay? And the other one I have to mention is the return, the Bitcoin mine or other coin mine, is directly goes to your wallet. We're not in the middle, right? We're not in the middle. You just pay us like monthly fee, or you pay back 6 months or a year, then you get discount. And also we have, as I say, we have competitive flat rate. There's no complicated algorithm to charge you, because some services, they say, oh, our electricity price is 50 cents, something like that. And then you don't even know how much money you're gonna pay per month, because what is the 50 cents? And also, they charge you like the maintenance fee, the position fee, deployment fee, whatever, we charge a flat rate. It's quite easy for you to understand, okay, after paying this, how much money I can make, okay? And yeah, we're a publicly listed company on NASDAQ. That's why we have our legal, we are compliant with all the SEC and NASDAQ, so we're pretty safe. We're not like this, startup company doing some new business, so we're guaranteed the safety of our operation. So we also have the expert on site, like 24/7, to monitor your machine, make sure all the machines running, is up, right? We have capacity, like I say, for each site we have like over 20K capacity. We also, you know what? The problem, someone may ask, like, what if my machine's down? What happened? And you send my machine back to China, the factory, for repairing, and then the back and forth take about like half months. I lose the money because I pay you I want the machine keep running, right? We have set up the machine on our own. We can back up, we have the backup manners to replace your one, while your machine is sending to the factory for repairing, we put our stuff on the rack to keep your, the miner working. So you still keep receiving the Bitcoin mine, okay? And yeah, we actively monitor. So here is all the picture of, all the supported miners. We actually can support more, but I don't think you can tell the difference by the look. They all look like similar, but the difference is inside the chip, right? So I want to say, majority, or I would say almost all the mainstream miner, we are supported, okay? So besides the ASIC miner, we also have the GPU rigs, okay? Like this box right there. The only difference or major difference between different GPU rigs is actually the GPU card itself. That's why the price can goes from 4,000 to 10,000. It's different because the GPU card costs differently. Okay, so we have a really good partnership with the AMD, with the NVIDIA, with the Gigabytes. And they're all really good GPU card provider. Okay, this is kind of like our price. We also have a website. For S9, we have like 130 per month, but you have to pay at least 3 months. But if you have like half year, you pay by half year, it's gonna be 120 per month. If you pay like full year, it's gonna be 150. I think today we have some special, like if you pay 1 year, it's gonna be 110 or something. Yeah, about 1,200 per year. Yeah, meaning you get free extra 2 months free. So there's some resources. I don't want to talk about more. Like Some of them, they're wallet. Like the wallet is actually a place to store your Bitcoin. Like when I mine Bitcoin, we're gonna store it, right? So you have the hot wallet. Hot wallet meaning it's connected, it's an online wallet. It's a web page. It's connected to the internet, right? And Ledger is actually a cold wallet. The cold wallet is like a hardware. It's like a USB drive. You plug in, you store all your private key, whatever, in the hardware, and then you plug out, and then you put in the safe or something, then it's connected to the network. In that way, the hacker won't hack into the system because you're not connected anywhere, right? Something like that. This is for Bitcoin wallet, and this is for the Ether wallet, okay? My token is probably the most popular one because not only the Ether, you can store the Ether, but you can also store whatever we call ERC20 token, which is the most ICO, is issuing their token based on the ERC20 protocol. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's probably the last 2 pages. Besides the miner hosting services, we also have our own blockchain project called UPower. It's a decentralized clean energy ecosystem. So we're gonna issue our own ICO pretty soon. So we have 6 application scenario, including like distributed clean energy generation, primarily solar, and also storage. You can store whatever energy you produce. You also transmit to whatever neighbors, in the microgrid, during the microgrid, and also you can mine. We have a machine like the solar system and the miner itself. You can generate the power used by your daily use, and also you can use that power to mine the other coin or our coin. Okay, and we also have an international team. As I say, we have the public company background, so we have a team across the world. Like we have the people in US. And China, Japan, Singapore, Australia, Europe, So yeah, we have people. We're gonna launch our token sale in June, next month, pretty soon, in probably 1 or 2 weeks. We start, we're looking for anchor investor, early stage investor. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we're also hiring. We're a public company on Nasdaq. So we are hiring the BD. We're expanding really fast right now. So we're hiring BD, marketing, hardware engineering for the miners, networking administration to manage the whole, because we're expanding. We're targeting to have more mining farm across the United States. So, and like mobile web developer, backend developer, intern is also welcome to join our company. Location is like Santa Clara, Portland. We have mining farm in Portland, mining farm in Pittsburgh, and we have developing team in China, Malaysia. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the last page. And this is our WeChat group in case you didn't get into the WeChat group. So stay close with us in the WeChat group. We're gonna post the update information in the WeChat group. So yeah, so if you have any question, yeah, it's the Q&A time. Yeah.
You said you're a Nasdaq listed company. What is it?
It's a SPI. We are specialized on energy services.
Okay. Another question. S9 was introduced last year.
Yeah.
So
no. I would say S9 has been there for several years.
Several years. What's the lifetime?
Oh, okay. Good question. So usually the lifetime of a miner is, Usually people use the miner for mining for like 2 or 3 years. It doesn't mean after 3 years the miner cannot be working because the miner the company, right? They keep updating with more powerful machines. In that way, after 2 or 3 years, your machine may not be that competitive. That's a problem. Probably after 3 years, the product after 3 years is like they consume way less energy, but they provide the same amount of the hash power. In that way, you are spending more money by mining the same amount of the Bitcoin, then you don't want to use them. But probably still profitable, but you can probably upgrade it because, as I say, the recovery date is only 1 year. So 1 year you get all the money back, and then the following probably 1.5 years, there's no cost for you, something like that. Yeah.
You talk focus mostly on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of other coins.
Sure.
Which one is more? Because Bitcoin needs so much hash power. I don't know if it's meaningful to mine that anymore.
Yeah.
How do you view other coins?
Okay, good question. Actually, I talked about this a little bit. Like, the Bitcoin is of course the major coin, in the market. It's the dominated cryptocurrency in the market right now. So Ether is the Ethereum is the second largest cryptocurrency. So that's why we use the GPU rigs. We have our own GPU rigs to mine the Ether, right? So, and also there's some small coin, as I say, those altcoins, the volume is not as large as the Bitcoin, but the volatility is even larger than the Bitcoin. Like the Bitcoin today, you can see is like, this is like the real time, like the Ether is 1 point something, and the Bitcoin is like, 0 something. But it's easily to get like a 10% up or down, or 20% up and down for some altcoin. As I say, you can easily get all the money back within 3 months for the altcoin, like for example, Zcash or Sia coin, something like that. But it might be after a few months, the recovery date changed to a year or something because of volatility. So that's why we only suggest like if you have a certain amount of money you want to invest, you put small portion in your portfolio for those altcoin, right? But also it depends on which coin you like best. Like if you only invest in this coin, you think it's the future, then why not just invest it? Yeah.
Which one's more profitable right now?
Which one is more profitable? You know what? Mining right now is IPFS is really it's getting a lot of attention from the whole community because IPFS is still in the early stage. It's pretty early, but there's a lot of people they're paying more attention about the IPFS miner. They already set up tons of the rack or with the machine with the blade server with tons of storage because they want to provide IPFS. I think you can probably pay attention for IPFS. But I mean, Bitcoin is still the most like the stable or safe mining strategy. Yeah.
Other questions?
Okay, so if you don't have any questions, so we have a networking session. Anyone with this shirt, you can feel free to grab them to ask any question about even the basic knowledge or our services. We have a room there if you want to have a private talk with someone. You're welcome. So yeah, thanks for coming. Enjoy more food and drinks, and then you can networking, which is thanks.